guys were using a new office building that didn't have any chemicals.
Oh,
so
right.
It's just like this kind of skyscraper that looks like
focus things for it, but it's our more intimate creative space for things that are going on. And then we have, this is the Great Hall, where some of you will be taught the main area of the Congress.
Good.
Start getting the paint. The paint's behind the. Go behind that. Go and take some photos.
So this is the main room where those who have got tabletops will be. We've not finished setting up yet, as you can see, but I still wanted to show you the space.
Okay guys, what are you doing tonight?
For me, I guess this is part of the regeneration happening.
Yeah.
So this is giving way to probably something really new and consistent with the style that they want for the city.
Yeah.
I think we can go.
Общение, мудрости, у меня просто сейчас много ребят.
Я думаю, что сейчас скоро у вас.
Actually, it's difficult for me to describe what is Horn Foundation because it's a lot of projects, a lot of people involved from different backgrounds. For example, we have three places. It's called Fox, Horn Fab Lab, and Horn Factory. And Horn Fab Lab is the first fab lab in Southeast Asia. It started in 2011, and then Indonesia have around 265 million population, and we have 17,000 islands and 13,000 languages.
So I'm quite interested in user experience and how I would like to connect the human behaviors with the user experience to maximize the user's experience. So these iPhones, these iPods, they are the triggers to make sound. So when so the sensors detect the movement of the iPhones or iPods to emit sound.
In partnership with FutureEverything to deliver this. So before I introduce you, I just thought I'd give you a bit of background as to why we piloted this project. It's the first year we've done it, first of many, we very much hope, Global Future Lab. So I guess our British Council Creative Economy projects are about showcasing the best of UK thinking and UK work around digital media art. We think they are one of the leading UK platforms for new media arts, digital art and critical conversations around these subjects, these increasingly more important subjects. So we wanted to build something together with them that would allow us to bring international voices to the festival.
Hi everyone, I'm Nozomi from Osaka, Japan, and I've been making films, and I actually used to be based in the UK, and also because I stayed in Scotland for quite a long time, Scottish identity kind of became part of my own identity as well, so I kind of combined all this. And after I got back to Japan, I remained looking for some film work, and I kind of tried to push some creative projects, and I also worked in some music as well, and recently, it's not that recent, but I managed to make a new film. I've tried out my first installation piece, and actually my partner Tadashi, who's just been there, he gave me this opportunity to take part in this amazing group exhibition called Scale Building Exhibition. It was kind of a collaboration with him, and I took part in this project organized by him, and I met other new really interesting filmmakers, artists from the West Japan. Now I've met all of you here, and it's been the love and the workshop I've done with the other 9 of you were really good. So now I want to kind of keep this connection for the next collaboration, and I'm always really looking for some nice collaboration with people from different areas, and I kind of want to keep my mind open for any kind of art form, and keep experimenting with my filmmaking.
My name is Vensa. I'm from Horn Foundation, based in Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Under Horn Foundation, there is a lot of group or small hacker makers or scientists who work with local people and social entrepreneurship that we are focused on, and we have 3 places and 3 laboratories. It's called FUFOX, focused on science and technology, and another one is called Horn Fab Lab. It's normal fab lab that working for the digital fabrication and prototyping. Actually, we produce also every year's international major festival. It's called Sales Button. I start in 2007, and now this year we produce a big event. It's called Transfer Making, the first international summit on critical and transformative making. It will be in Indonesia and all over Indonesia. It's in the many island will be, and then my focus now that in Global Future Lab and also participate in FutureEverything. It's I have to grab as much as I can people and interesting hackers, scientists, makers, or practitioners together to come to my country. So I really focus on to find people, the right people who have the good idea, and working with the locals, maybe during 1 month or 2 months, all over Indonesia, many islands. And then in September they are back to Yogyakarta, Indonesia to make presentation, workshop, makers camp, and crazy stuff do it during the summit and festival. So this is my little bit introduction to what we are doing in Indonesia and what happened in especially in Java Island and Indonesia, and in general in Southeast Asia, because we are focused on Southeast Asia.
So at the moment we have a collection of stories about people who have several debilitating conditions, if you will, but how that distinctively motivates them or inspires them to approach their life and still follow their passion. So, like I said, it started as a personal project, and now you can see a certain trend emerging where the narrative kind of actually is leading to real changes, which struck me quite a bit. And the recent one here at the Global Future Lab is because I think it's not just for people who have chronic conditions or who don't know how to appropriately, make that part of their life if they suddenly have a strange diagnosis, but also how do you communicate that to everyone else who has their own standard of what's normalcy and then who sees you through that. So that's been really great with Global Future Lab in order to communicate that and see that, okay, that this is quite relevant and people are interested to see, and especially in, I write and speak about digital innovation within creative industries, and everyone's focused about being hyper-productive or doing so many different things, and then you say, oh, well, there are these strange, well, so-called strange people who have so many adversities, but it's precisely those adversities that allow them to approach and do something brilliant that someone else within the normal scale of normalcy couldn't have done. So it's been quite fantastic from the perspective. Oh, the collection is on Medium, if anyone would like to check it out. It's called Chronically Driven. And
Vani's actually speaking in about 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes.
I was just going to say, I'd love to talk to anyone if you're interested. However, I do need to run and try to say the same thing a little bit longer.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivan. I'm from Ukraine, and right now me and my team we work on one energy management project, and basically it's like a piece of hardware that will install in the flat of the people, and it will show them how much energy they spend. We can recognize what device in people's flats and show what device is efficient, what not efficient, and how they really spend their energy, so they can manage their budget and manage how to use this energy. And basically it's like one of my project while I'm here, and we're preparing like a crowdfunding campaign. We're right now talking with big utility companies to implement this, and basically we'll launch it in the middle of April. And the second project while I'm here, I'm basically participate 1 year ago in our revolution. Let's say we try to make it as well as possible, and when we launched we received like over than 800,000 views on our portal like in first 24 hours, and it was some DDoS attack, so it was quite useful for people, and I hope we help a lot of them to save their lives and health at that times. So basically I'm talking about these two projects here, and thanks for invitation.
Hello everyone, my name is Adibayo. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I run a brand called Asha, and it's under the parent entity called Jenny Games. Basically it's a brand with which we're trying to promote and preserve indigenous African cultures among kids. So specifically we use features like games, animation, text, voice, sound to deliver African cultural content for kids. So these are stories, these are language teaching applications, that combine games to make it more stimulating and interesting for them. And the problem that we're trying to solve is, the lack of interest and knowledge of these indigenous African cultures, not just for African kids in Africa, but in the diaspora, and also for a global audience. So it's stories in English, but with an African theme to it. And the interesting thing about Global Future about FutureEverything for us is it's allowed us, expand our thinking on the one hand, and also in terms of exposure. We're looking to gain, good tractions in terms of, significant partnerships with some technical developers, or even in terms of distribution. And the talks so far have been very interesting. We've been able to meet with quite a number of them, with likely links to some UK companies that can help us with that. And so it's a good platform for us to keep growing. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Al-Mansoori. I'm originally from Dubai. At the moment, I'm pursuing my master's degree as part of the ITP program at DISH at NYC. Things that I'm interested in are basically, in the last few months I've been really heavily into mapping and cartography. Specifically both the esoterically mental image of cities and mapping things that don't physically exist, like the way we navigate online, and trying to create some sort of a growing visual representation of it. I'm at the moment in the process of setting my own research-based practice. One of the really interesting subject to me is whether cartography can be used as a form of propaganda, specifically maps, because they are such a powerful thing and they can be distorted and they come with own distortions. Prior to starting my study, I've been doing generative design work back home. I've done a commission project with Banky and Apples, and I've exhibited in Design Days Dubai. My original background is in computer engineering, but gradually I've moved from that into more of a tech design kind of space. So yeah, and I'm doing my thesis at the moment, which is mostly about the image of the city, the collective image of the city, and how can it be translated in a new navigational framework that is more humane than mechanical and technical. Thank you.
My name is Hyun Kim. I come from South Korea. I live in Seoul, and now at the moment I study my master's degree as a media design in the cross media lab, and there I study interface design and interaction design, and I'm also a researcher at the Institute of Arts and Science Convergence. So during this festival, during the showcase, I show my first group project, which is Net Disruption. I worked with my partner Yuna Yang, and we were inspired by the Korean traditional game, which is a string game. And we, both of us, are interested in space and relationship between space and time. And this Net Disruption is about space. It's about the division of space, and we saw the strings which are randomly connected inside a cube as a net, and division of space as a disruption of the space as audience interact and transform the strings that are connected inside a cube. So I'm very happy to be here and to present my group project here during the festival. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Good afternoon. I'm Dan. I'm a software developer from London. So my work is interested in explaining and understanding technology in a critical dimension. So an example of that is the advertising billboards around Manchester all contain small cameras in them, which will photograph your face and work out your age and gender so that they know who's looking at their adverts. The software also looks at emotions. They can work out whether someone's angry or sad or surprised when they're looking at the adverts. And it wasn't hugely reliable, so we ran a test where we got a set of photos of the same person with the same facial expression about 60 different times, and we worked out, what are their facial expressions and all these. Have you seen the Tumblr Nick Clegg looking sad? It's like hundreds of photos of Nick Clegg looking sad. So we put them into the algorithm and found out how sad he really is. And the algorithm really struggles with Nick Clegg. He varies from 20 years old to 70 years old. Sometimes he's male, sometimes he's female. And of the 64 photos we put in, only one of them thought he was sad. So that's a kind of silly project. I'm currently working on a project called Postcards from the Supply Chain, which was undertaken with Unknown Fields Division, which is part of the Architecture Association School in London, where we travelled to visit the geographical sites responsible for production of all our electronics. So we travelled by container ship, we visited electronics factories, we went to Yiwu, which makes 60% of the world's Christmas decorations. We travelled to Baotou, where 50% of the world's rare earth metals that go into our electronic devices are made. And so my project is kind of like a documentation examination of these geographies. Thanks.
Hello, I'm the last one. Yeah, so deep breaths so you can focus now. Hello again. I'm Areed Kamran. I'm basically from Pakistan, but for the past couple of months I've been living in Munich. My project is called Newsticks, which is basically a platform for collecting, analyzing, and visualizing spatio-temporal data, which basically just means stuff that you can put on a map and that the stuff that you can track over time. And there are like a million other companies and projects working on the same thing. Even over here in the festival, I've met like quite a few who are working on roughly the same domain. But what we are doing is like we're not creating a brand new product or anything. What we are doing is just providing a service. The pilot projects that we did were focused on disaster relief. They were focused on smart cities, traffic monitoring of traffic congestion, and one of the users. Intended users of this project is actually journalists as well, because they can work out these stories and they can just have a treasure trove of data coming in which they can which is already mapped, and they just have to figure out, okay, I need some Twitter data over here, and on top of that I need some user complaints maybe, and the news, or maybe a whole different set of layers to create stories out of that. So that's it. That's basically the project. You can have a look in the main building if you are interested in that. In this particular lab, I was brought by, as Karan mentioned, by British Council through this again open call, which was interested in the whole digital data thing. And one of the things that I've noticed is it's not just me working on that, or it's not just people from that particular region working on that project. It's people from all over the world really working on this thing. And even when we come to UK, you look at the developed world, and they're still trying to figure out the same problem that we are. So it's not like it's mature over there, it's mature over here, and we're still working on it. No, it's the same. Just now I met one of the groups who is working with the exact same problem that we are working on, but they're focusing on UK, and we are focusing that project in Lahore. So that's the thing. That's an interesting insight into it, and I'd like to thank British Council for inviting me. And
we all get really excited about it. It's quite difficult for us to define. I
think room 1. There's this room where apps for yours is.
Yeah. It's in the main building.
Yeah, the main building. And because the